Welcome. We are live. You are here at Bob's Corner. This is episode 17, Turning Pain into Purpose. I'd like to thank you all for showing up tonight. Very excited for tonight's episode. Excited to see you guys. I'd like to welcome everybody that's here tonight. You know how we started off. We want to give ourselves a round for being here. A round of applause for making it another week. Just give ourselves a round of applause, man, for not giving up and taking this thing day by day. Life can get hard at times, but we continuing to stay strong, man. We continuing to push forward, man. So definitely, big round of applause for that. First place I want to go, man, is I want to give a special shout out, man, to I wouldn't necessarily call her a motherly figure, but definitely had a huge impact on the lives of many of us. I know definitely me. We want to give it up for the mom from Home Alone. Is where I was first introduced to this lady at. Did later see her down the road on a show called Schitt's Creek. I watched the first season. I didn't watch the second one. It was a pretty good show, man. But Catherine O'Hara, man, definitely shout out to her, man. Rest in peace, man. She was 71 years old. Uh, haven't I'm not too familiar with the reason why she passed, but she was 71. Then it looked like she died in her home in L.A. on Friday. Oh no, what was this? This was this was written on January 30th, so I'm not sure when to find out what day she actually passed. But anywho, she was definitely a mother figure, man, for those childhood movies at Home Alone. There were scenes where, I definitely was impacted and triggered, even as an adult. I'm watching a couple of these scenes. I'm actually play. This one here, man, was one of the most touching that I could remember, especially for me. Not having my mom at such a young age, man, and just seeing him lose his mom for like a few days, like to go from having a mom and not just having her for a few days, how that can impact someone. But just me myself not having my mother at all, like so that definitely triggered me, man. But she's played in a lot of films, did a lot of things with John Candy. This is her later years. But yeah, definitely a huge shout out to her, man. Look like she was born in Toronto, uh, back in '54. So she's been an actress for a long time. Won her first Emmy in 2020, man, for playing the mom on Schitt's Creek, man. If you haven't checked out Schitt's Creek, it's actually a really good show. Um, Definitely want to check on the second season, though. I'm not sure if it went for a third, but yeah, man, Catherine O'Hara, man, rest in peace. Uh, no, huge shout out to her, man, her family. Definitely left an impression in a lot of young kids' hearts around the country for sure. I'm gonna play this scene from Home Alone. It's one of my favorite scenes, man, especially from her and Macaulay Culkin, man. So check this out, man.
Merry Christmas, sweetheart. forgive and I'm so sorry.
That one right there, man. That's definitely one of the scenes in Home Alone that definitely got to me. Watching that as a kid, man. But again, rest in peace, Captain O'Hara. Shout out to you and your family, and hopefully everyone that loved her and cared for her is doing well. Sorry for your loss. So I want to go over turning pain into purpose, and just kind of coincides with the current journey that I'm on. Uh, I would say I've been called to do this. I've been called to express myself and express my feelings, and how loss has affected me. I just want to share my story so that others can feel safe, can feel a place where they heard, can feel a place where they recognize. I've unfortunately been in spaces where even I didn't really understand what was going on with me, and trying to find somebody that was of age, of ilk to relate to. I have to admit it was a struggle a lot of times. Is I tried to find ways to express it. I write it down. I exercise. I go for a run, and it's singular while I'm dealing with it, but my objective is to find some a group, like-minded people, a person where I'm not just dealing with this alone. I'm dealing with it a group of people that I can relate to. That way, we can either grow together or one help another somehow way. But there's a solution for it. So my purpose, what pain has done to me to find a purpose is to take those stories, to take that struggle, to take that pain and that energy and put it into something positive where, I can touch other people, people that are afraid or may not even know the state of mind that they're currently in, that may not even know how they really truly feel inside until, somebody peels back the layers and find that out for them. I know in this day and age, we like to drop the therapy, people that we feel that need it, but there's a cost for that, and I'll be the first to admit, therapy was definitely a choice for me, but it can become costly, and given the state of the economy and the way people are living right now, therapy is not exactly the best route for a lot of people. People struggling to make ends meet. They got rent to pay. These car notes and interest rates are through the roof right now. So trying to incorporate a new bill, even though that new bill may be very, very important to your well-being, may help you accumulate more wealth. That's definitely something that factors in with people's choices from day to day. So I totally, totally understand. You got to get the help and what you need and however you can afford to do that. But I want to be a vessel where I'm giving. I'm not a therapist. I'm not giving therapy, but coaching, that one on one, that like, hey, let's really get to the bottom of what you're going through. Let's really get to a real understanding of why, at times you may make some of the choices that you make, and a lot of times it may have something to do with mood. It may be the season you in. It may be the lack of affection you feeling from a place. But my objective is to give you to give you tools in which you can combat that on a daily basis. So not only can you identify when it's happening, but you're able to combat it the same way. and just touching like-minded people, people that are looking for a way to better themselves day by day, not necessarily on the therapeutic tip, but just on a discipline, a commitment. I want to take these five things and I want to implement these five new things into my daily compass. And now I'm living life with a purpose. Now I know, hey, if I do get sad or if I do blow up at somebody, if I do overreact, then I know that I can check myself and I can go down a list of things like A, is it this? B, is it this? C, is it this? And so on and so on. So that way, I can you can truly assess situations and understand if it's you that's lashing out or if it's grief that you dealing with that you just haven't addressed. So, but the goal is to continue to build and continue to grow as I grow with you, as I grow with myself. I've been very, very fortunate to be able to get to a point to where I can discuss things that have happened to me that have brought me to tears, that have brought me to isolation, that have brought me to anger. But I'm able to discuss these items in a way where I feel like I'm educating myself, I'm bettering myself, I'm learning things about myself. There's been conversations that I've had amongst you all, and I can start to learn the patterns in which why I made the decisions that I made when I did it, why certain things happen. And I could tie those situations into now, like my relationships are affected now based upon something that happened to me X amount of years ago, given the circumstances. So, just turning the things that I've been through, the things that have hurt me, continue to hurt me actually, but not as impactful as they used to be. But I'm still hurt by the loss. It's something I'll never get over. I've made peace with that, and I'll never truly be 100% fine because there's pieces of my life that are missing, and that's just something that you never get over. You learn to get through, but you never really get over. So my goal is to turn this mission into a global thing. There's millions and millions of people that are suffering right now because they're afraid to, and also because they don't really know. We live in a society, we live in a world where being tough is seen as the superior thing. But expressing yourself and acknowledging why your behavior patterns and the reasons that and outside or external factors or internal factors that may cause uh, action, that may cause reason for certain behaviors. At least you can backdate it. You can go back to a point and you can tell that story. So when you are reacting in moments, when you're able to quell that emotion, and you can speak from an articulate point, you can speak to why something is bothering you. You able to talk through that appropriately because you've identified the triggers, you've identified the reasons for your current behavior. Then that way you can become the better version of you, the one that has gone through a traumatic experience but can also grow from it. You're also growing from it. So turning pain into purpose, Bob's Corner right now is a mission right now. We're on a mission, and that mission is to touch each and every individual that's suffering out there from grief, that's suffering out there from any depression, any anxiety, uh, because they are having a hard time coping with the loss of a loved one. And I see it all the time. I know that there's people out there that need help. I know that there's a reason. I know that there's a reason that God called me to do this because He shows me the people that need help every day. And I'm figuring out ways to reach those people, to touch those people, to connect with those people. It's I know speaking about a loved one can put people in a bad space and in a sad place, but my goal is to be able to speak to someone about a family member that they lost, and instead of it being a sad situation, they're able to speak from a place of happiness. They're able to speak from a place of good experience and good memories and share those. So that's what the mission is for me. The mission is to remember our loved ones, not in a sad way, not in a way that makes us want to go do bad things. No, celebrate our family members that we lost in a good way and keep our legacies going, keep their legacies going. All right. So we give you guys 5 tips to deal with grief. 5 tips to deal with grief. So 5 tips to deal with grief. Yeah, I gave my family upstairs. We definitely busy in here. All right. So when it comes to 5 tips to deal with grief, first thing we're gonna go over is foundations of grief, and that is when you got to understand in a grief. It's grief versus it's how you should feel, how you should act in certain situations versus what the reality is. The reality is life goes on. The reality is you have to pick up and keep going. The reality is no one is coming to save you. That's the reality. You get people that approach you after the funerals, and after the wake, and maybe a couple weeks down the line, that starts to taper off, and you start to realize that you have to face whatever grief spell you're going through. Unless you are facing it with like-minded people, you're gonna go through that alone, because no one wants to feel that. I want to say I want to say no one wants to feel that, but no one does feel that pain that you feel, because your relationship is intimate with whomever you lost. So you can't expect the next person to feel the same way that you did. All right. When you process an emotion, uh, you got anger, you got guilt, you got regret, and then there's relief. For me, I know when I lost my brother, I was very, very, very angry at first. I wanted to hurt people. I wanted to kill people. I didn't care about throwing my life away, but I had to remember that I had a daughter and I couldn't leave her. I couldn't leave her. So while I'm going through that process of feeling like I couldn't leave my daughter, now I feel guilty because I'm not quote unquote sliding for my brother. I'm not avenging his murder by going to find the person that killed him. I feel like I'm letting him down. I'm letting him down because I ain't in the car riding around looking for somebody. But if I go do something to this person, then I'm in jail for 20 plus years to life. Then that's happening to me. So I got to make a choice. So now I don't do nothing. So now I have to live with a regret that I didn't ride for my brother. I didn't slide for my brother. I didn't avenge my brother because I allowed this person to still breathe life after he took him away from us. So that's a regret, kind of. Although I felt like I made the best choice, I still feel like I let my brother down because I'm letting that man breathe life and he took him away from me. So maybe it's pride, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's the false principles of the hood of but I don't know. Most situations I've seen when something's happened to the brother reacts, and you know I chose to be here for my daughter, and I just couldn't see myself throwing my life away like that. So to be able to be here for my daughter and my family and my nephew, for me, man, that gives me a sense of relief. I don't feel as bad about my decision, though I wish I would have done more. I don't feel bad about my decision at all. All right, so number three, identity and meaning. You want to make sure that you definitely carry the relationship forward. Like for me, my brother, my mother, my father, like they legacy always lived through me. I speak highly of my mother. I speak highly of my dad, my brother. You know, those are the people that I'm intermediately connected with, biologically connected with. Same blood. Uh, me and my brother for sure. But that's those are the spirits that I carry with me, man. I carry my dad's last name. And now my whole family has it. All my kids and my wife has my last name. So we all together. You see the McCanns. You see the McCanns when we walk in it, when we walk in a function or we walk at a barbecue, family, we walk in an event. There's the McCanns right there. You know, I owe that to my father for giving me his last name. I owe that to my mother for bringing me here. Me and my brother, you know, shared the same mom, same dad, look just like each other. So their legacy always live on through me. Showing up for my nephew, that's important for me. Getting to see him, getting to see a piece of my brother that's still here on this earth, outside of me, outside of my sister. Like we still get to show up and represent, man. So the mechanics, man, when you see us, you see my mom, you see my dad, you see my brother. They still here. They still moving with us, man. So learning to carry that with us. Four is daily life after loss. So you want to make sure that you create a sound structure with no pressure. Give yourself time to heal. Give yourself time to adjust. There's no timeline on grief. There's no timeline on where you should be. There's no timeline on when you should feel completely better. But the goal is to get better each and every day. So, whatever you have to do, I journal every day. That gives me my peace of mind. I get to air my thoughts and my grievances out and my emotions out on paper. I can read my scripture afterwards. I can move on after that. My life is constructed every day to get my emotions out early as possible in the day. Whatever I slept on, I'm getting off on paper the next day. It's been helping me tremendously while dealing with things. And even when I am grieving, I still continue to journal because now I can write about it. Now I can exercise how I'm really feeling. I take walks in the afternoon. It's been very cold now, so I usually get my walk in at the gym now. But I try to stay as active as possible. So during my lunch breaks while I'm working, I take walks. Nature walks are definitely my favorite thing. Regardless of what mood I'm in, I'm able to leave those emotions out in nature. And get that positive feedback. You know, sometimes it takes days to get through things. Like you may be at it for something for maybe 2, 3 days, 3, 4 days. You just never know how long something could take, but you want to acknowledge those feelings because they're real. You want to acknowledge how you feel because it's a real thing, and don't be afraid to do that. It's okay to understand that, like, man, I'm going through something. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna find out. So you got to study yourself. Write a journal, Go back and read the page what you wrote the last day. You might have just been right and not even thinking, but it's out on paper, and you go back and read like, dang, that's what I was going through then. Like, dang, I was going through some things. I got stacks of journals that I read through periodically just to see what phase of life that I was in. Did I grow from where I was at? Where am I now? Okay, did I make any improvements? Like, you got to study yourself. So definitely create a sound structure for yourself to overcome daily grief, because it shows up when you least expect it. Right? Let's see. That was what? That's three. No, that's four and five. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Growth and integration. Growth and integration. So lastly, what I'm gonna do here, last tip here is redefining what joy and purpose looks like for you. We all have our own expectations, what happiness looks like for us, what fun looks like for us. After dealing with the loved one that you've lost, after dealing with that, the funeral, the calls, the texts, the running into people who asked about you, somebody that you lost that was close to you, and they not aware of what happened to them. So having to explain that and open that back up, give yourself time, because after a funeral, that's not when it ends. After you leave the cemetery and had a repast and you hug everybody after that moment, that's not when it ends. That's the beginning of the process, because you still in that high moment, like where everybody is showing love, and people are crying, of course, but there's joy, there's love, but there's nothing like going back to real life after all that is done. It's nothing like going back to real life after all that is finished. Like, it's just not, life is it's not the same. It took me a long time to just laugh again after all that was done. After we had the repast, after we had the funeral, it took me a long time just to laugh again. But laughter to me is fun. Laughter to me is joy. But it's hard to really experience those things. It's hard to do those things after burying a loved one. Trying to move on, trying to get back to reality, man. So I had to redefine what joy and purpose meant for me. So laughter, which has always been a part of joy for me, have became increasingly an emotion that I sought after. I watched so many comedy specials because I just wanted to laugh all day. That's what got me out of my funk, was watching comedy specials every day, and it was around the time where Kevin Hart was starting to blow up. And I think it's called Grown Little Man. Ain't that the name of Kevin Hart first special? I think that's it. Yep, Grown Little Man. Yep, that's it. You know what? I think I'm gonna watch that on Netflix, man. Think I might have to check that out, man. No, that's the one where he was like, "All right, all right, all right." That was that one. That was that one, man. So that's wow. Now that I'm thinking about it, Jesus, man, that take me back a long way. But yeah, man. So find something that give you joy, and find something that defines purpose for you, man. Like I spoke on it, turning everything that I've been through. God has put me on this mission, man. So I'm very very thankful and excited for what's to come, man. But I'm gonna leave us with a prayer, man. My kids up there, my wife up there, everybody going crazy, man. So leave y'all with a prayer, man. There's a scripture that I seen earlier, man. It just really hit home, man. See. All right. So for every single thing that has ever happened in your life is preparing you for a moment that is yet to come. Jeremiah 29:11. So every single thing that has ever happened in your life is preparing you for a moment that is yet to come. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you a future and hope. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you future and hope. Man, so I want y'all to think about that. When you caught in a situation and you thinking, why me? Why did God choose me for this path? Why did God take these people away from me? Why not other people? Why am I the only one like this? Why not that person? Why they still get had theirs? And you just never know what God has planned for you. So I'm growing and I'm learning, to trust Him and to believe in His word and to believe in His guidance and His vision. And I want you all to do the same. So with that being said, man, I'd like to thank you all for showing up to Bob's Corner, man. This is episode 17, man. Episode 17, man. We're really getting up there, man. I'm really thankful for where we are and where we going, man. Let's give ourselves a round of applause, man. Episode 17, man. 4 months in counting, man. We just want to give y'all thanks for showing up to Bob's Corner, man. Y'all have a good night.